Welcome funds. Enjoy exclusive audiobook experiences right here. For full access to complete stories, visit my website or support me on Patreon, links are in the description. 99 Speed Rebirth, Outran bold to football glory. Episode 1 Rebirth 2012, full speed value. In 2012, Milan, Italy, was sunny and breezy. The football stadium of the University of Milan was full of voices. Almost everyone in the 5,000 spectators stood up and stared at the players running in the stadium. This is a cross-border school team match between Milan University football team and Waxia University football team. Although it is only a school team game, the players on the field are also amateur players. However, the atmosphere in Italy's domestic amateur competitions is also extremely strong, and it does not lose to Daxia's professional leagues in the slightest. Waxia University players who are used to playing uncle's walking ball, how have they ever experienced the oppressive defense of Italian football? Not only can't get the ball in the midfield, but the conduction in the backcourt is also suppressed by the opponent. The players are fighting each other, like a mess. Although there are still 20 minutes before the end of the game, facing the semi-substitute Milan University team, Waxia University is already behind by 4 goals, which makes the game lose suspense early. What time is it? You can still fall asleep, I'm convinced. Shi Xiaoyu was punched and opened his eyes suddenly. The emerald green lawn dazzled him a little. He touched the tight white socks on his calf, looked at the players running on the green field, and froze for a moment. Here, isn't this the Milan of that year? Shi Xiaoyu glanced at the tall man in front of him, and was startled again. Use the width of the court, dispatch opponents back and forth, don't make silly long passes from the backcourt. Li Tong, coach of Waxia University's school team, was directing the players off the court. He anxiously blew on his long bangs and almost jumped up. If he wasn't too old, he would have gone up and kicked himself. Only then did Shi Xiaoyu become convinced that when he woke up, he would travel back to the age of 18. That year, he had just finished the college entrance examination and was admitted to Waxia University. He loved football and joined the school team. It's just limited by the level and qualifications, so he can only go to Milan with the team as a substitute player for this friendly match between the two schools. That year, he watched a normal water dispenser on the sidelines and witnessed a tragedy in which the team lost by a big score. Compared with this game, the lowly girl who hit up a conversation on the streets of Milan back then can bring back Shi Xiaoyu's fond memories of this trip to Italy. The University of Milan also slowed down after a burst of onslaught at the beginning, which gave the Waxia University team some buffering opportunities. At this time, Waxia University got a chance on the wing, and the winger took the ball and looked up for a while. It's just that the team members were all walking, and no one came to meet him, so he spread his hands helplessly, so he had no choice but to lead forward and forcefully break through. A beautiful bike that wipes out the edge of the University of Milan store. There was a burst of cheers from the audience. The winger's brain became hot and he wanted to continue dribbling forward. The midfielder Gilardino of the University of Milan is strong and strong. He rushed over with a flying shovel with his legs off the ground, and directly shoveled the ball with him. The referee blew his whistle, and after hesitating, he only showed a yellow card. This is obviously a red card move. The winger of the Waxia University team is off due to injury. Although it is just a friendly match between the two universities as friendly universities, the football education that the players of the University of Milan have received since childhood is that they must play the ball well, play football seriously, and never let water go. Therefore, their actions were very fierce, and they did not intend to give up the ball on purpose. Head coach of the Waxia University team, some of your players have been injured and our team doctor has seen them, and the game cannot continue for the time being. Do you need to make a substitution? Asked the third official of the game organizer. This distressed the head coach Li Tong. He anxiously discussed the replacement strategy with his assistant. But Shi Xiaoyu knew that everything Li Tong did was in vain. According to his own memory, Li Tong then replaced a midfielder in order to control the embarrassing situation. It's just that after this player came on the field, due to excessive nervousness, he was quickly caught by the Milan University team and scored another goal. If the opponent hadn't shown mercy in the end, the Waxia University team would have been scored in double digits. What a bitter memory. I didn't expect that I would have to experience it again after time travel. Just when Shi Xiaoyu had this thought, a strange sound passed through his mind. Activation of the live football system, host binding. Shi Xiaoyu smiled knowingly. As a human being in 2 lives, God really took care of him and would not let him come to this life in vain. A human figure exactly like himself appeared in front of him, with several columns of ability values on the right. Shi Xiaoyu. Height, 1.78 meters. Weight, 65 kilograms. Age, 18. Speed, strength, endurance, shot, pass, dribbling, balance, field of view, bounce. Overall evaluation, Seeing this series of question marks, Shi Xiaoyu also had a big question mark in his mind. Shouldn't it be topped up directly at 99? System, what is going on here? What is my ability value? Shi Xiaoyu gritted his teeth. Mission release, play a foul and get a numerical unlock card. Shi Xiaoyu nodded. It turned out that he wanted to open the blind box. If he wants to make a foul, he must seize this opportunity and let the head coach Li Tong replace him. Coach, I applied to play, please give me a chance. Li Tong was startled, looking at Shi Xiaoyu who ran up to him. As a newcomer to the team, logically speaking, he has no chance to play. In fact, Li Tong did not list Shi Xiaoyu among the available players. Bringing him here this time is purely to let the newcomers of the team experience the Italian football atmosphere and expand their horizons. Li Tong frowned. Episode 2 Fast as the wind, comparable to Bolt. Seeing some hesitation in Li Tong's eyes, Shi Xiaoyu's tone became firmer. Coach, I ask you to give me this chance. You know that my training has been hard. I believe that I will definitely bring about changes after playing. Li Tong nodded. He knew that although Shi Xiaoyu hadn't joined the team for a long time, he had been diligent. He never slacked off on the training ground, and even worked harder than the old players. Anyway, with the current situation on the field, the main players of the Waxia University team are also unable to recover. Li Tong hopes that these substitutes can come back. It is better to give the young people in the team some opportunities to grow well so that they can become the backbone of the team in the future. Okay, Xiaoyu, then I will send you to play. After you play, I ask you to play the position of the attacking midfielder. The task for you is to connect the ball between our striker and the midfielder, and when defending, you have to try to harass the opponent's back line and the midfield line, and don't let them pass the ball from the back to the front comfortably, understand? Holding the tactical board, Li Tong explained a few words, then patted Shi Xiaoyu on the back hard, as if to say to him, the young man relaxes and kicks as hard as he can, don't feel pressured. As the saying goes, there are 60 million football coaches in Italy. Just when the Waxia University team was changing players, in the stands of the University of Milan Stadium, the local audience expressed their opinions on the situation on the field. Waxia University is said to be the top university in Waxia country, but I didn't expect their football level to be so poor. Yeah, this level is not as good as my son's elementary school team level. According to my observation, the players of Waxia University's school team are still skilled, but limited by their experience in competitions. They are a little stage frightened. Look at their defenders, they kick their feet as soon as they get the ball, and they dare not find cooperation with the midfielder. To put it bluntly, the players dare not take responsibility. The ball burns their feet. They all think that if the ball is passed, they will not be responsible. This kind of play is not good. Confidence in holding the ball is a hurdle that young players must overcome. It is said that their coach played in the Premier League before? Haha, look at his expression just now, he is very dissatisfied with the players. If you continue to play like this, let alone 3 goals, I'm afraid you will score 10 goals. At the same time, the team photographer of Waxia University also saw the comments from the viewers of Waxia Kingdom in the live broadcast room. Thousands of bullet screens flew over like rain, and the number of viewers has exceeded 100,000. It's too embarrassing, I knew there was a gap from the beginning, but I didn't expect to play so badly. Can you play football? You can't even catch a ball. If no one is defending, you stop out of bounds. You have to practice your basic skills. The kick is too cowardly, bloodless, useless, even my grandma is better than them. You can't compete with your skills, and you can't hit your body. These college students are patronizing girls in school. It's over, I will refund the plane I used, *cash. Refund. After Shi Xiaoyu came on the field, he took aim at the target and rushed towards the Milan team player who brought the ball. The person he shoveled away was the same player who produced the winger of the Waxia University team before. Shi Xiaoyu's move can be regarded as avenging the winger of Waxia University and saving some face. At the same time, the referee's whistle and the system's wake-up sound sounded at the same time. Congratulations to the host for completing the foul mission, the ability value is unlocked. Shi Xiaoyu. Height, 1.78 meters. Weight, 65 kilograms. Age, 18. Speed, 99. Strength, 60. Stamina, 61. Shots, 58 passes, 44 dribbles, 72. Balance, 60. Vision, 55. Bounce, 45. Overall evaluation, Serie B level. Shi Xiaoyu looked at his own value, thoughtful. The speed of 99 has reached the peak of a professional player, and it runs like a supercar. With invincible speed and decent dribbling level, Shi Xiaoyu can be described as a good dribbler on the court. It's just that other values are a bit stretched. In modern football, which emphasizes the overall level of players, Shi Xiaoyu's comprehensive evaluation can only be at the level of the Italian football sub-level league, the second division. However, even if it is only at the level of Serie B, playing this kind of college amateur game is still a crushing existence. Shi Xiaoyu smiled knowingly, and now his ability is enough to reverse the original course of this game. Hey, boy, move slowly, and be careful that I kick back and break your leg. Gilardino, who was brought down, looked at him with disdain, and said viciously. Although he could understand the English he was speaking to, Shi Xiaoyu didn't fight back, just looked at him with a smile, and dropped a sentence in Huxia. Reciprocity. This foul gave Milan University a free kick in the front court. A high throwing arc passed into the penalty area of Waxia University, and was cleared by a header from Waxia University's defender. The ball hit the ground high and far, and flew towards the half of the University of Milan. Good opportunity, I'm about to start rushing. Shi Xiaoyu, who was ambushing in the front court, went to chase the ball. Shi Xiaoyu, what are you doing? Stand still and don't run around, come back and defend. Before Li Tong finished speaking off the court, he was stunned. I saw that Shi Xiaoyu ignited the engine like a sports car, and rushed towards the ball like lightning with a whining roar. His speed is so fast that he surpassed 3 University of Milan defenders in a row. Those tall white defenders only felt a gust of wind whistling past their ears, and an afterimage passed by. The moment the ball just hit the ground, Shi Xiaoyu has surpassed all the defenders, 40 meters in front of him, only the goalkeeper is left. What's the situation? I have to attack. The goalkeeper of the University of Milan looked confused. When will the opponent replace such a monster? The goalkeeper strikes instinctively, running towards the ball. He must clear the ball before Shi Xiaoyu, otherwise it will be a one-shot. Episode 3. The reversal starts now. At this time, the players of the Waxia University team were all in their own half, staring blankly at Shi Xiaoyu, who was flying at the speed of light. What are you doing in a daze? Hurry up and meet Xiaoyu. The captain of the Waxia University team was the first to react, and started running from the penalty area. The other team members woke up like a dream, panting heavily, and ran along with the captain. The goalkeeper of the University of Milan and Shi Xiaoyu were chasing the football at the same time. They were getting closer and closer to the ball. The goalkeeper relied on his height and long legs. Where would Shi Xiaoyu give him this chance? He gritted his teeth and kicked hard on the ground. Just before the goalkeeper tackled the ball, he flicked his toes lightly, and the football was rubbed up over the head of the goalkeeper of the University of Milan. Shi Xiaoyu also took advantage of the trend, dribbling the ball and jumping over the goalkeeper's head. Oops, this is broken. The goalkeeper missed it, and he missed it. What happened just now? Who is this Waxia team kid? He is even faster than Bolt. The native Milan audience in the auditorium stood up one after another, staring wide-eyed at this weird scene. After picking the goalkeeper, Shi Xiaoyu faced the goal, the empty goal, waving at him. Without hesitation, a smooth push and the ball rolled into the empty goal. At this time, the teammate who wanted to meet Shi Xiaoyu had just run across the midfield. The referee's whistle sounded and Waxia University scored. When Shi Xiaoyu turned his head, he saw 10 people running towards him. All the teammates rushed towards him. FK, you're faster than Bell. You kid is too good, is this still you? Secretly hidden, Xiaoyu, it seems that you usually only play a part of your power. You are a sweeping monk. 10 teammates piled on top of each other and pressed Shi Xiaoyu so heavily on the ground that his nose was crooked and he couldn't breathe. Let go of me, I'm going to suffocate. Shi Xiaoyu wailed helplessly. This 99% acceleration is really too fast, so fast that he didn't even think of it. At the same time, the Waxia Kingdom's live broadcast website also exploded. The bullet screen flew over densely, occupying the entire phone screen. A goal? I read it right. How could he run so fast? When did he rush over? It is recommended to recruit the national track and field team and go to the Olympics. Waxia Guaxin's 100-meter flying man was born. I want to watch the replay, it's unbelievable, the director will replay it soon. Whether it is on the scene or on the live broadcast website, there are noisy discussions. Only Li Tong touched his chin and fell into deep thought. About Shi Xiaoyu, Li Tong doesn't know much about him. He only knows that Shi Xiaoyu is not a football student, but a cultural student. It is just because he loves football and has a certain level of football. It happens that the school team lacks people. His teaching assistant recruited him in. In normal training, Li Tong didn't pay too much attention to this recruit. Li Tong fell into self-blame. He felt that it was because of his negligence towards the new players that he failed to discover Shi Xiaoyu's strength. The so-called layman watches the excitement, and the insider watches the way. Li Tong is a professional football coach and a professional player before retiring. In the scene just now, he saw a lot of ways. Everyone was amazed by Shi Xiaoyu's speed, but Li Tong also found other bright spots. In particular, Shi Xiaoyu's movement of catching the ball and flying over the goalkeeper's body is extremely light and natural. Without profound football skills and a calm psychological quality, it is impossible to do it. Not to mention Shi Xiaoyu, but the self before retiring, faced with such a one-handed opportunity, perhaps he could only subconsciously shoot the goal hastily. Flip the ball over the goalkeeper? Only did it in the game. Li Tong took a deep breath and shouted to the field. Shi Xiaoyu switched to the right wing and played as a winger. Through observation, Li Tong judged that Shi Xiaoyu, who is relatively thin, is not suitable for hand-to-hand combat in the midfield. Putting him on the wing is more conducive to giving full play to his speed and technical advantages. The game starts again. Gilardino, midfielder of the University of Milan, shouted to his teammates. Hey, keep your spirits up, it's no big deal, we have a big lead, play according to our own rhythm, and score one of them. Gilardino happened to be facing Shi Xiaoyu. He approached Shi Xiaoyu, sneered, and said in English, "Don't try to pass me with speed, be careful that I will let you pass the ball." Shi Xiaoyu also sneered, but this time he didn't speak Huxia, but replied in fluent English, "I'm afraid that once I run, you won't even be able to smell my fart." The Waxia University team, who scored a goal, swept away the previous decline and their morale was high. Under the dispatch of the head coach Li Tong, they gave up defensive counterattacks and took the initiative to attack, focusing on the right side where Shi Xiaoyu is. The players of Waxia University are actually not bad in personal skills. They are all the most powerful football players in the country. They have been selected through layers of selection, but this time, the 20th anniversary of the friendship between the two sister cities, the Waxia University team traveled thousands of miles and came to a foreign country. The players were in a state of high physical and mental tension. Because of the acclimatization, several players had diarrhea in the hotel all night, so the game was very tight. The action cannot be let go. And after Shi Xiaoyu scored the goal, the Waxia University team discovered that the champion team of the Italian National University League is not invincible, and they also have weaknesses. In particular, the guards of the University of Milan are more than strong, but not fast enough. Now that the team has a fast horse Shi Xiaoyu in charge, in the last 15 minutes of the game, I still look forward to the trend of the game. Episode 4 so brutal. The next match completely became Shi Xiaoyu's personal show. In the 78th minute of the game, the Waxia University team emptied the opponent's right side through the patient scheduling of the midfielder, and then made a long pass, and the ball was transferred to Shi Xiaoyu's feet. Facing an open field, Shi Xiaoyu took the ball and advanced quickly without hesitation. The defensive players of the University of Milan did not dare to neglect at all, and leaned to the right with all their strength. They had just seen Shi Xiaoyu's speed and power, so they couldn't give him any more space. Shi Xiaoyu, who took the ball in the right midfielder, just pushed the ball lightly, won through the crotch, and passed the first defender who rushed up. Wow, amazing. Even the elementary school student caddy who was responsible for picking up the ball on the sidelines was impressed by this light and crotch pass, and expressed his sincere admiration. It was none other than Gilardino who had been at loggerheads with Shi Xiaoyu. Anyone who has played football knows that being passed by someone is not a comfortable thing, especially when passing through the crotch. It is simply a shameful existence. Gilardino became furious instantly, got up, and rushed towards Shi Xiaoyu's ankle like a dog. "Xiaoyu, be careful of the thief behind you." The captain of Waxia University has already seen through this person's intentions. He just wants to abolish Shi Xiaoyu and make him end up injured. It's just that Shi Xiaoyu wouldn't give such despicable people a chance. He has an acceleration value of 99, and immediately kicks the ground to accelerate, throwing the people behind him far behind. It just confirmed his previous sentence, "I run, you can't even smell my fart." Dodge the pursuers behind, there are strong enemies ahead. The three University of Milan players were arranged in an orderly formation, and the distance between them was completely controlled. They echoed each other and approached the direction where Shi Xiaoyu was dribbling the ball. "You grab his ball first, the two of us are responsible for protecting you," and cut off his attacking route from behind. The tactic used by the three-man team is to use the division of space, stand in a triangle, cut off Shi Xiaoyu's dribbling route from the heat, and force him to give up dribbling and choose to pass back. But instead of passing back, Shi Xiaoyu also slowed down and approached the defender slowly. "Not good, the route has been cut off, Xiaoyu quickly send back, don't force it." Li Tong shouted from the audience. As a battle-tested coach, he judged off the court that Shi Xiaoyu faced three double-team defenders at that position. No matter how fast his personal speed was and how smooth his dribbling was, he still lost room to attack. If you don't choose to pass back and get intercepted by your opponent, once you are counterattacked, the Waxia team's defense is empty at the back, and it is very likely to lose the ball again. Although Shi Xiaoyu heard Li Tong's cry, he ignored it and had his own plans. Just as the three defenders were getting closer to him, he suddenly kicked the ball forward. The ball passed through three defenders and came to the corner. And the ball passed through at the same time, and Shi Xiaoyu got the afterimage across the field. He didn't use any dribbling skills this time, but relied on his perverted speed to forcefully break through. Past 3 people at once. This time, the whole team of the University of Milan was completely dumbfounded, and even their coach was stunned in place. Could it be that Waxia has recruited members of their track and field national team to play football? But there are many people who run fast in this world, but there are very few people with such a perfect combination of human and ball. With an acceleration of 99 and a dribbling in the early 70s, Shi Xiaoyu is a crushing presence on the amateur court. This time, the goalkeeper of the University of Milan did not dare to attack rashly, but stayed in place. He was afraid that if he attacked rashly, he would be missed again. Shi Xiaoyu took the ball on the sideline and pushed it into the penalty area. The captain of Waxia University, when Shi Xiaoyu was outstanding before, ran to the opponent's penalty area for his life. "Here, pass quickly, I'm here." Shi Xiaoyu heard the call and made a simple pass. The captain responded and hit the ball into the goal before the central defender. The score was tied at 2-4, and the Waxia University team scored 2 goals in a row. Faced with such a wonderful individual performance, the local residents of Milan in the auditorium turned their backs one after another and stood up to applaud Shi Xiaoyu. The charm of football lies in this. A really good player can even convince the opponent's supporters and cheer for him. At this time, the head coach of the University of Milan has realized the seriousness of the problem. The strength of the half-main and half-substitute players on the field obviously cannot restrain Shi Xiaoyu's performance. And Shi Xiaoyu is a core player who can revitalize the whole team. If no adjustments are made, although the University of Milan still has a 2-goal advantage at this time, there is still a danger of being overturned in the last 10 minutes of the game. The head coach of the University of Milan made a decisive decision and replaced the 3 substitute players on the field with 3 main players. Bia, Rockley, Allison, the 3 of you must pay attention to the defense on the right side, and defend the fast Huxia man closely, so as not to let him catch the ball comfortably. Do you understand? Understood, boss. The 3 Italians were gearing up, their deeply sunken eye sockets fixed on Shi Xiaoyu celebrating the goal. They will never let Waxia University score again. Episode 5 Stand out from the crowd. What can you do to me? The 3 main players who had just been replaced had already seen Shi Xiaoyu's strength off the court, and they were not disgusted with rushing up to the game, but stood at their positions with peace of mind, echoed each other, and waited for the opportunity. Although they don't have the keen sense of smell like the coaches of both sides, they are also aware of the changes in the situation on the field. The faces of the members of the University of Milan team look different. Surprised, puzzled, confused, and shocked. After all, he is a young player. He has never competed with professional players before. Shi Xiaoyu's performance just now has exceeded their understanding of campus football. Players from the University of Milan, back off. Because they feel fear. They changed their tactics, but we still boldly press forward. Li Tong shouted excitedly from the sidelines. As a battle-hardened former professional player, he has fought in the Premier League. He could tell at a glance that it was Shi Xiaoyu's power that forced the University of Milan team to adopt the high-pressure tactics of the previous 80 minutes. Instead, he retreated conservatively. Shi Xiaoyu, alone, broke the morale of the 11 people present at the University of Milan. This is the deterrent power that stars can bring. The University of Milan football team is a prestigious university football team throughout Italy. They have participated in the 24th Italian National University Football League and won 18 championships. It can be called the Overlord. Facing the Waxia University football team that came from the expedition this time, they didn't care at first. After all, the level of football in Daxia is so bad for all to see. I can't believe that a country with 1.4 billion has only entered the World Cup once and failed to score a goal. What a joke. Yeah, Huxia people are good at badminton and table tennis. They don't like basketball. I heard that the football field is occupied by their old people for dancing. Before the start of the game, University of Milan winger Gilardino chatted with the coach like this. They didn't take the Waxia University team seriously at all. Gilardino even uttered wild words, claiming that even if Daxia's national team came, their University of Milan could still win. The first 70 minutes of the game did meet everyone's expectations. The University of Milan team, which came off the bench as a semi-substitute, only played 50% of their strength, and easily scored 4 goals for their opponents. The head coach of the University of Milan even shook his head. Playing a game of this intensity, the level of exercise is not as good as training with the local high school team. He originally thought that if this situation continues, at least 3 more goals will be scored, and the score is 7-0, which will give these guests from the Far East a head-on blow. After all, Italy's reputation as a world football powerhouse is not in vain. But the sudden appearance of Shi Xiaoyu disrupted all these plans. Cheng Yaojun came out halfway. What does that mean? After Shi Xiaoyu came on the field, not only in terms of personal dribbles, but also with outstanding statistics, all 16 dribbles were successful. Also created 5 chances to score goals, 2 of which were caught by teammates. The Waxia University team is only 1 goal away from tying the score. Don't patronize the kid who runs fast, the others should also guard against it, pay attention to the latter. When Shi Xiaoyu broke through, there was a long string of opponents hanging behind him, like a string of candied haws. Even the local Milan audience in the stands couldn't help laughing. Ha 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 ha, this scene seems to be a group of crazy boys chasing the girl they love to death. Pull it down, they won't be able to catch up at all. What is this man's name? Shi? It's the same as passing a wooden pole. A bald man with a pizza in his left hand and a Coke in his right shouted while eating. I said this before, the Waxia University team's personal ability is not bad, they are just nervous. Now this new kid has revitalized the whole team and boosted the confidence of the whole team. Son, go and buy me another pizza, today's match was really good. Shi Xiaoyu attracted everyone's attention. He cuts in from the baseline, lifts his leg, and pretends to shoot. The 4 defenders shoveled one after another, throwing their bodies towards the shooting path. How they hope that the shot ball can block themselves. Even the goalkeeper is digging his toes, ready to make a save. But to everyone's surprise, Shi Xiaoyu slammed his right foot and stopped the ball. Whoosh whoosh tilde. Under the effect of inertia, the defenders couldn't break the car, and rolled past Shi Xiaoyu's door one after another. Goalkeeper again. The goalkeeper was also impressed by the fake shot and the real button. His body center of gravity was unstable, and half of his body was already leaning on the ground. Volley, quick volley. I'm not shooting yet, what are you watching? You must enter, if you enter, you will be flat. Come and shoot violently. In the stands, 5,000 spectators stood up, waved their arms, and devoted themselves to the game, as if they were more anxious than the players. The game was so ups and downs, they had already turned their backs and became fans of the Waxia University team. Shi Xiaoyu glanced at the panicked goalkeeper, but didn't rush to kick. But a pinch lightly. The football drew a beautiful arc in the air and flew into the net from the top of the goalkeeper's head. The goalkeeper who loses his center of gravity and has no time to stand up can only look at the ball and sigh. 4-4. Only 20 minutes. Waxia University equalized the score. Episode 6. This is my ultimate goal. The referee blows his whistle and the game is over. Shi Xiaoyu was so tired that he slumped on the ground, panting heavily. Although he is a player at the Serie B level, his physical fitness is not outstanding. In addition, he has to lead a group of amateur teammates. It is really hard work for him. All the members of the Waxia University team rushed forward excitedly. Raise your arms, raise your arms, raise your legs. Although there was no reversal, everyone knew that Shi Xiaoyu contributed a lot to scoring 4 goals in just 20 minutes. The great hero, Shi Xiaoyu, was lifted up by the crowd and flung into the air frivolously. Little you Niu X. The teammates didn't rehearse in advance at this moment, but they shouted the same slogan in unison. In the afternoon in Milan, Italy, the sun was warm, and the warm sun was like a breeze, blowing Shi Xiaoyu's heart slightly numb. Resurrection, such an opening is really perfect. And the members of the University of Milan team were all downcast, with expressions of disbelief. At this moment, they have not recovered from the loss of the game. Damn, what the hell is going on? Is this still football? The most disappointed is the University of Milan winger Gilardino on the field. He wanted to use his fierce defender, Shi Xiaoyu, to get off the field with a shovel. But Shi Xiaoyu, who walks like a fly, never gave him this chance at all. It is confirming what he said before, I run, you can't even smell my fart. This is really a soul-stirring game, today is the right time. Uncle braised egg in the stands. He stuffed the pizza into his mouth in one gulp, and gulped down the last sip of Coke. Yeah, I haven't seen this kind of game for a long time. If you want me to say, if the referee gives another 5 minutes, Waxia University will definitely score another goal and reverse the University of Milan with 5 goals. Yes, it's a pity that the time is too short, a little longer will be fine. The audience stood up and applauded one after another, and the warm applause echoed on the football field. At this time, the members of the Waxia University team lined up and walked to the stands to pay tribute to the audience. Li Tong stepped forward, applauded the audience, patted Shi Xiaoyu on the back heavily, and looked at him meaningfully. Good boy, you didn't see how powerful you were before, where did you practice? Shi Xiaoyu smiled sheepishly. Coach, I was born to run fast. At this time, the coach of the Milan University team, a gentleman middle-aged man with grey hair and a suit and tie, came over. He first hugged each other with head coach Li Tong and congratulated each other. After a few pleasantries, he said to Shi Xiaoyu who was standing aside. Young man, are you really just a college student? Your performance today really surprised me. Shi Xiaoyu and Li Tong smiled at each other. He naturally understood in his heart that the strength he showed on the court just now is already at the level of the Italian professional league. This kind of performance will naturally surprise the opposing head coach. But Shi Xiaoyu obviously can't reveal her top secret. Hello coach, all the players present can testify that I am indeed a member of the Waxia University team. If you don't believe me, I can show you my student ID. Shi Xiaoyu took out his student ID card from his bag and handed it to the coach of the Milan University team. The coach stared at the photo on the student ID card, compared it with Shi Xiaoyu's face for a while, and let out a long sigh. If you Waxia had a few more young players like you would have already become a football powerhouse. This sentence broke the defense of everyone in Waxia present. The fundamental reason why Waxia's national team is so weak is that they are weak. 11 years ago, in 2001, the players who entered the World Cup in Korea and Japan were still very strong, and many players had the strength to play in the top or secondary leagues in Europe. 10 years have passed, and the level of Waxia's national team has not improved but retreated. The reason is that the youth training is lagging behind, resulting in the failure of follow-up players to replenish the retired old players in time. Youth training is the source of power for a country's football level and sustainable development. It's just that Shi Xiaoyu didn't feel much fluctuating when he heard the emotion of the head coach of the University of Milan. Because he knows that even if he plays well, he may not be able to enter the national team. Entering the national team requires a lot of unexplainable things besides strength. To live a new life, Shi Xiaoyu doesn't want to waste her precious time on these meaningless things. Its ultimate goal is to join the top giants in Europe. Win the top league championship. Win the Champions League. Even get the Golden Globes. Episode 7. Attention from professional scouts. The game is over, and the spectators in the stands are leaving the field one after another. A man wearing a black cap, but sat there motionless. He was wearing a black jacket, sunglasses, and a video camera in his hand, and he kept flipping through the previous videos. In the camera, the scene of Shi Xiaoyu dribbling the ball was played repeatedly. When he saw the critical moment, he couldn't help playing it back and forth, observing Shi Xiaoyu's movements repeatedly. This guy is such a genius with a bright future ahead of him. He took off his sunglasses, revealing a pair of deep eyes. This person is a local Italian scout named Aquilani. Aquilani has worked for the Fiorentina club for a long time, with the aim of collecting potential football stars from all over Italy, Europe, and even the world. Once the scout thinks that these young football players have the potential to become professional football players, he will send them to the Fiorentina club for trial training. It is the duty of scouts to discover emerging forces for the club. Similar to scouts in the entertainment industry. According to common sense, it is impossible for a professional scout hired by the Italian Serie A to appear in the Italian amateur football field. What's more, this is just a university football campus-friendly match. According to common sense, there is no significance for investigation at all. Because the players here focus on their studies, and football is just a hobby in their spare time. In the summer, Aquilani finished a season of scouting work, just flew back to Italy from Africa, enjoying the warm Mediterranean sunshine in his hometown of Milan. He passed by the University of Milan, and heard that there was a match between the University of Milan and Waxia University from the Far East. It happened that the head coach of the University of Milan was his good friend. Curiosity made him step into the stands of the stadium. I thought about eating some popcorn and drinking Coke on this lazy afternoon to pass the time. Unexpectedly, after Shi Xiaoyu came on the field, Aquilani was conquered in just 20 minutes. In Aquilani's nearly 20-year scouting career, he has met many potential new stars. Shi Xiaoyu's strength, at the same age, is excellent. Through on-site observation and playback in the video, he firmly believes that this teenager-looking boy already has the ability to play professional games. His professional instinct gave him the urge to communicate with Shi Xiaoyu face-to-face. Can you recommend this teenager to the Fiorentina club? Although Aquilani has never been to the distant eastern Waxia kingdom, he also knows from newspaper news that Waxia University is the best university in the entire Waxia kingdom. Salary. Similar to the status of the University of Milan in Milan. Can Shi Xiaoyu be persuaded by himself to participate in the trial training of the Fiorentina club? After all, professional football is very hard, and players retire very early. After retiring, many players lost their stable source of income. In the end, they went bankrupt and fell on the streets. They even had to sleep on the streets, parks, and bridge holes. Not everyone can become a world star like Messi Ronaldo. With such apprehension, Aquilani walked into the football field, and he wanted to have a face-to-face talk with Shi Xiaoyu. When I walked off the stands, I met the head coach of the University of Milan who was leaving the field. Hey, geek, good afternoon. Isn't this my good friend Aquilani? Why are you here? I just came back from Egypt in Africa. I don't pass by your territory. I heard that there is a friendly match here, so I came in to join in the fun. Ha ha ha, I didn't expect our famous Florence scout to have such leisure and elegance. He didn't watch the professional league, but instead, he came to my university to watch the students play football. Quote, Aquilani smiled, the sun was dazzling, and he put on his sunglasses again. Although it's just a competition for students, I discovered a treasure today. The head coach of the University of Milan was taken aback for a moment, then he realized it and smiled. I know who you're talking about, you mean the guy from the Waxia University team who runs so fast. Oh, Aquilani adjusted his glasses, you like him too? Of course, I'm just a football coach at a university, but I've been working in this industry for 15 years. I can tell the level of a player's potential at a glance. During the entire game, this kid has a dominant deterrent force. According to common sense, he should not just be a university student. Chi K looked at Shi Xiaoyu, who was drinking water not far away, with incredible eyes. But I saw his student ID just now, and he is indeed a college student. There is no doubt that his strength far exceeds everyone present, including my University of Milan football team, and no one can match him. He not only has outstanding personal ability, but also actively cooperates with his teammates. Such a young man players, not many. Aquilani nodded, and the two of them were not talking. Although one is a college football coach and the other is a scout for a professional team, they both have a common understanding of Shi Xiaoyu's ability. After all, his performance today is too good. Brilliant. At this time, it was Xiaoyu who had finished celebrating with his teammates, and I walked towards the exit of the stadium while drinking water. Hi, excuse me, can I talk to you for 2 minutes? Aquilani took off his hat and sunglasses politely, and stopped Shi Xiaoyu. Episode 8 Resurrection, Escape from 996. Although Aquilani is a native Italian, he can speak 7 languages because he has been finding new stars all over the world all year round. Just now he and Shi Xiaoyu spoke fluent English. He talked with Shi Xiaoyu in English, also to test Shi Xiaoyu's language skills. Although this is in Italy, but in European countries, many players and coaches can speak some English more or less. Although Shi Xiaoyu doesn't speak Italian, in Aquilani's opinion, if he can master English proficiently, it can be regarded as a preliminary pass of the language barrier. Hi sir, what can I do for you? Shi Xiaoyu's fluent British English answer made Aquilani's eyes shine. He looked at the young man in front of him who was thin but full of vitality, his eyes were full of love. Aquilani took out his scouting certificate and handed it to Shi Xiaoyu. I'm a scout for the Fiorentina club. I just witnessed your wonderful performance in the stands. I would like to formally extend an invitation to you. Invitation? Shi Xiaoyu was taken aback. Where did you invite me to? Aquilani smiled lightly. I'm a scout, of course I'm digging. You went to the club for trial training. Do you want to be a professional player? Come with me to the Fiorentina club. Professional player. Shi Xiaoyu's heart was lifted. Being a human being in 2 lives, Shi Xiaoyu is still reborn back to Waxia University, and wants to do something different from her previous life. In her previous life, after Shi Xiaoyu graduated from Waxia University, she stayed in the imperial capital as a matter of course and worked as a programmer with a relatively lucrative salary. But the 996 commuting and boring work every day made him exhausted every day. The mortgage and car loan, the children's kindergarten tuition fees, the wife's jewelry and clothing expenses, the support of her parents, all kinds of pressure make Shi Xiaoyu a standard social animal. Not to mention playing football, salted fish time doesn't want to move at all. I just want to lie at home, lie on the sofa, watch some boring variety shows, and pass the time. Although this kind of life is stable and quite happy, it is really too boring, and you can see the end at a glance. Now that one's own performance has been favored by professional scouts, it is simply the best thing. Mr. Aquilani, I dream of becoming a professional footballer. I'll go with you to the Fiorentina club for trial training now. The Florence club is located in the city of Florence in central Italy. It is called Fei Lenqui in the poem by Zhu Zhimo, a great Huxia poet, and it is a city with a very romantic atmosphere. It is also the birthplace of medieval Italy and even the entire European Renaissance. More importantly, the Florence club is called Viola, and it has a very high status throughout Italy. Although it can't be called a top team, the Fiorentina club has been playing in Serie A for a long time, and occasionally can show off in the European arena. It will be a good growth experience for Shi Xiaoyu if he can join such a big Italian club. He can also use this as a springboard. After showing his strength in Florence, he aspires to jump to the top European club giants. Don't rush to agree, you can think about some things. Aquilani has seen too many young lads like Shi Xiaoyu. They have a good vision for the future of football and sports career. But not everyone can go to the end on the road of professional football, and many people give up halfway. Not only did he fail to improve his skills and fail to become a professional player, but he also delayed his studies. In the end, when people reach middle age, they have nothing to do, they can only live in poverty, and live a gloomy life. Just as Shi Xiaoyu was about to answer the call, Li Tong walked over. While Shi Xiaoyu was talking to Aquilani, Li Tong stood silently not far away, watching the two. He listened quietly to the conversation between the two of them. "Hello, Mr. Aquilani, I'm Li Tong, the head coach of the Waxia University team." "Ah, hello, Li Tong, I know you." Li Tong scratched his head. "Do you know me? We haven't met before, right?" Aquilani laughed out loud and patted Li Tong on the shoulder. "From 2004 to 2006, you played in the Premier League as Everton's central defender and defensive midfielder. I still watched you play live. Unexpectedly, after retiring, you actually became the head coach of a university." Back then, sponsors sent me out. There is nothing wrong with the head coach of the university. I am a teacher at the university while leading these children to play football. I am also very happy." Hearing this, Shi Xiaoyu secretly laughed at the side. "Coach Li, Coach Ali, although you are the head coach of the university now, but after 10 years. In the end, you became the head coach of Waxia Kingdom, maybe you didn't think of it yourself." After Li Tong and Akui finished their pleasantries, they said to Shi Xiaoyu, "I heard what you said just now. As your head coach, I can't comment too much on your choice. However, if you really want to go to the Fiorentina club for trial training, I still support you from the bottom of my heart. After all, there are very few Huxia players who can gain a foothold in Europe. I played in the Premier League back then, and it's not easy to play in a foreign country. Although you are full of talents, this road is not easy to walk, you have to think about it." Doesn't Shi Xiaoyu know that professional football is a difficult road? If he wanted to join the Florence club, he had to give up his studies at Waxia University, and he was wandering in a foreign country alone. But the determination to become a top professional player overwhelmed all concerns. "In addition, I have system bonuses, and the future can be expected." He resolutely said, "Coach Li, Mr. Aquilani, I've made up my mind, and I'll go through the withdrawal procedures right now. I want to try out in Florence, I want to play in a professional league, I want to stay in Europe." Episode 9 sponsor forced it? We do not charge. Seeing that Shi Xiaoyu had made up his mind, Li Tongyi solemnly nodded to him. With Li Tong's assistance, Shi Xiaoyu signed a withdrawal agreement with Waxia University remotely. It's a desperate game. The Waxia University team members also learned that Shi Xiaoyu was going to the Fiorentina club for trial training. Congratulations to them. Becoming a professional player is the dream of many young boys. Although most of the members of Waxia University's school team will return to Daxia to continue their studies after this game. But for Shi Xiaoyu's bold and brave move, they are all full of envy. In this way, Shi Xiaoyu followed Aquilani with the expectations of Coach Li Tong and the blessings of the team members. A few days later, he went south and arrived in Florence by train. When Shi Xiaoyu left Milan, he only had €500 in cash from Coach Li Tong. On the train going south, Shi Xiaoyu sat in front of the train window, watching the beautiful scenery of the quiet Italian countryside passing by, full of excitement and apprehension. What is exciting is that he was reborn in the first life, and he can finally live a different life in the second life and finally pursue his dream of being a professional player. What is disturbing is that in Italy, a country known all over the world for its football, can he really break through the world with his own strength? As an experienced scout, Aquilani is about the same age as Shi Xiaoyu's father. He saw the worry in Shi Xiaoyu's heart, and solemnly patted him on the back. "Young man, don't worry. Since you have already dropped out of school, you can follow me with peace of mind. I have been in this business for 20 years, and I have a good eye. I dare say that you will definitely be able to play in the professional league." After arriving in Florence, Aquilani used his personal connections to let Shi Xiaoyu live in the dormitory of the Florence reserve team that day. As a Serie A club, Fiorentina has a complete echelon construction. The highest level is the first team, even the club's top lineup, which represents the club in the first division all the year round. Below the first team, there is also a reserve team, which can serve as a supplementary force for the first team. Most of the reserve team are young players, and there are also players who are not strong enough in the first team and have been retired. Of course, there are also young players like Shi Xiaoyu who come to try out. Next to the reserve team, there are U19 and U16 youth teams, and even children's teams like U13 and U9. After Aquilani settled Shi Xiaoyu, he went straight to the office of the Fiorentina club. Here's their sporting director, Moroso. As the general manager of the Fiorentina club, Moroso, the sports director, is responsible for many responsibilities of the club, from player signing to player salary negotiation. That afternoon Maluso was smoking a cigar in his office while finishing the Daxia on his desk. This is a well-made blue and white porcelain. He came to the club 5 years ago as the sports director, and it was a gift from the club owner himself. Aguilari rushed into his office in a hurry and sat down on the leather sofa. "Hey, Maluso, guess what I brought you today? Didn't you just come back from Africa? What, another scouting report for some new African lads? Molusuo looked at Aquilani with great interest while swallowing his clouds. As the club's most famous scout, Aquilani's scouting reports are always full of technical analysis and his unique football perspective. According to Aquilani's scouting report, Molusuo signed many potential new stars from all over the world, and his performance has been outstanding. Therefore, the relationship between the two is very good, and they are friends who have known each other for many years. There are many scouting reports in Africa, but today I bring you an Asian lad. Asian players? Molusuo touched his shiny forehead. You have never brought me an Asian player. Whether it is the neon country or the baseball country, let's hear it. In recent years, neon and baseball players have gradually shown their prominence in the European arena. In England, in Spain and Germany, there are many players from the two countries, and they are achieving good results. He is neither from the neon country nor from the bang country, but he is still from the waxia country. Waxia kingdom? Molusuo was taken aback for a moment, then picked up the blue and white porcelain cup in his hand. As far as I know, Waxia is good at making porcelain. But I've never heard of any famous players in them. Especially in Italy. Since the establishment of our Fiorentina club in 1931, this is the first time that players from the Huxia country have come to try out. Aquilani laughed heartily. Not only will he become the first Huxia player to come to our Fiorentina club for trial training in 80 years. Even, he may enter the first team and become the first Huxia player to officially debut for Fiorentina. Molusuo took a deep breath of the cigar, and after puffing it out, he pressed it heavily into the ashtray. He touched his hooked nose and looked at Aquilani meaningfully. Tell me the truth, has the club signed a sponsorship with Waxia? Molusuo is a senior sports director who is proficient in various unspoken rules of football. Generally speaking, if the club signs a new sponsor, some requirements of the sponsor will be met. For example, in order to open up the domestic market, sponsors will forcefully recommend some players from their own country to join, in order to attract popularity. Molusuo's professional instinct told him that this Waxia player was forced by the club's sponsors. Aquilani, now the club's marketing strategy has changed. We will not accept players from strong sponsors. If we want to gain a foothold in a club like Fiorentina, we must rely on sufficient strength. Do you understand? Episode 10 Language Genius from Daxia. Aquilani did not express anger at Molusuo's arbitrary opinion, but smiled lightly. My dear sports director, the times are developing, you can't look at people with colored eyes. I know that you have some prejudices against the players from Waxia, but everything will be seen on the training ground tomorrow. I dare to guarantee my personality, you will be surprised by Shi Xiaoyu's performance. On the other side, Shi Xiaoyu settled down in the dormitory. This is a house of about 20 square meters with 2 beds. There is also a separate toilet and washroom. Air conditioning, TV and desks, all available, which is much better than Shi Xiaoyu's dormitory at Waxia University. But at this time, Shi Xiaoyu has no intention of enjoying the superior accommodation conditions. He leaned against the head of the bed, looking at the bright sunshine and the green grassy environment outside the window, with mixed feelings in his heart. His mood at this moment is like that in his previous life when he just graduated from university and applied for a job in an IT company. Can the famous Fiorentina club take a fancy to a little-known kid like me? The long-distance train journey made him a little tired, so he fell on the bed. But immediately, he sat up. Because at the same time he was lying on the bed, the sound of the system sounded. Congratulations to the host for signing in for the trial training reward. Acquire Italian, proficiency, superior. Shi Xiaoyu was taken aback for a moment, and a lot of information flooded into his mind. Tens of thousands of lines of Latin letters, like flocks of birds, floated in his eyes, densely packed. What's going on? I seem to understand it. At this moment, the door of the dormitory was pushed open, and a black guy walked in. The black boy was not surprised when he saw Shi Xiaoyu. Instead, he grinned, showing a mouthful of white teeth, opened his arms, and said in broken English. Hey, hello, I'm your roommate Veneto, are you the one who came to try out today? Veneto is tall, with a height of 1.9 meters and a weight of about 90 kilograms. He has a natural sports embryo. Under the short, naturally curly hair, there is a childish face with a sense of joy, like a character in a cartoon. Shi Xiaoyu was touched by Veneto's enthusiasm, and immediately lost the restraint of being in a strange environment. Hello, Veneto. My name is Shi Xiaoyu, and I came to Florence from Milan for a trial training a few days ago. He blurted out such fluent Italian that Veneto's eyes widened. Why do you speak Italian so well? I heard that you are from Daxia. Veneto is a native Italian. His grandparents came to Italy from Tanzania in Africa to make a living, so he could hear the Italian that Shi Xiaoyu spoke just now, which is very authentic, with a hint of Milanese local foreign accent. Shi Xiaoyu didn't expect that he could blurt out Italian. Of course he can't reveal that this is a sign in reward given to him by the system. Haha, when I was at Waxia University, I minored in Italian. Wow, that's awesome. You're a language genius. Veneto showed an envious expression. When a player comes to play in a foreign country, his skills are naturally very important. But apart from the skills, there are many factors that affect whether a player can integrate into the team. The first is the language barrier. Only when you can understand what your teammates say and communicate smoothly with your teammates and coaches can you truly integrate into the team. In the past, many young players from Waxia had to use translators to communicate with their teammates when they came to video chat abroad. But translators cannot be with players all the time. When the translator was not there, players who did not understand the local language had to try to communicate with poor gestures, which caused some communication barriers. This kind of obstacle is sometimes fatal. It can make players introverted and afraid of making mistakes, which in turn reduces dialogue with teammates. That's why many foreigners think that players from Waxia are naturally introverted and unwilling to communicate with others. In fact, they just don't know how to say it. And when Shi Xiaoyu met his roommate for the first time, he spoke fluent Italian, which also virtually shortened the distance between him and Veneto. Sitting next to Shi Xiaoyu, Veneto asked about his origin and life experience in Daxia with great interest. The two communicated in Italian without barriers, and they chatted until the evening. Shi, I had a great chat with you today. By the way, the team will be training the next morning. You follow me, and if you don't understand, just ask. Although Veneto is only 2 years older than Shi Xiaoyu, he looks like the big brother of the team and patted his chest hard. In fact, Veneto is a veteran of Fiorentina. He entered the team's youth training at the age of 12, played for 8 years, and finally at the age of 20, he passed all the way and was promoted to the first team. It's just that because he is black and has a loose nature, he was late 3 times during the team training. The head coach kicked him back to the reserve team in a rage and asked him to reflect on it. But Veneto is optimistic by nature, so he doesn't care. However, Shi Xiaoyu attaches great importance to tomorrow's trial training. Because when he entered the Fiorentina club, Aquilani solemnly told him to rest well tonight. Whether to stay or go depends on your performance tomorrow.